How I got into wood carving, coming right up. Hey everybody, this is Dave, and thanks for coming back for another video. In this one here, I'm going to show you some wood carving stuff. Talk a little bit about how I got into it. So, as a young boy, after I got my first pocket knife, other than going out and sharpening sticks and doing that kind of thing, I remember one time when I was in the Cub Scouts going to a den meeting, and everybody was given a little wooden block. I think it was made out of pine, and it had an ink stamping of an Indian's head on it. And everybody was required to bring their pocket knife, and we were going to whittle out these Indian heads. And that's my first experience I ever had. I can remember at trying to do any kind of detailed carving stuff. And one of the boys in the class in the den meeting almost cut his thumb off, and so that kind of ended that whole meeting there. But anyway, flash forward. I've done a few birds I've carved and stuff like that over the years here and there, but I never really got into it too hot and heavy until a few years ago, when I really started making a lot of walking sticks, and I was constantly trying to come up with something to put on the top of walking sticks for decoration. And I had the idea, how about some wood carvings? So I sought out to find some information about easy wood carving and all that. I found this guy, his name's Doug, and his YouTube channel is Linker. And I'm telling you, he's the bomb. If you want to get into this very, very rewarding hobby, very low cost, doesn't cost much at all to get into it. If you have the agility in your hands and the strength in your hands, it's almost therapeutic, wood carving, for me anyway. And I really enjoy it. And so I don't do it that often. I don't do it every day by any means. But I have done quite a bit of it. When I first got started in it, I really didn't know a whole lot. I'd watched a little bit on YouTube about wood carving and stuff. It wasn't until I found Doug on the Linker channel that I really, really started getting into it and trying to learn the tricks of the trade, so to speak. I grabbed a piece of pine, and I can't believe I even kept this, but this was like my very first very crude attempt out of a chunk of pine to do a face on a piece of wood. And I guess I keep it around just to kind of remind me how far I've gotten. But I learned pretty early on that basswood is the wood of choice for wood carving. And here's an example of a block of basswood. You can find basswood, if it's not prevalent in your area, on Amazon in blocks, and you can get them in all different sizes. This is an 1.5 by 1.5 block, and you can get 1 inch by 1 inch, 6 inch lengths, 12 inch lengths, and all pretty reasonably priced. If you check out the Linker channel, he goes in great detail. He just did a video recently on wood selection, and he ordered a bunch of wood and then tested it out and everything. And you can check that out if you want to look into it further. But basswood, definitely by far. You can carve in anything, but just because of the grain structure, and it's nice and soft, and it carves easy, it has a tight grain, it takes paint, stain, all that really well. And here's a shot of some of my earlier carvings I did. And then I'll show you this picture, and then I'll tell you what I did there. Yeah, so on those, what I did was to kind of conserve and stretch the wood out a little bit farther. I just took it on my saw and I cut it diagonally right across here, and that gave me double the wood. And then I just did those caricatures and carved them on that piece, cut out. And out of a piece like this, I could get 4 of those that are in that picture. And so yeah, it really stretches out far for practice, And then those you can mount on the wall or make a little stand for if you wanted to keep them, whatever, Then moving along, of course, I can't use those shape ones on walking sticks, so I need to make some round ones. So I just started playing around, and here's one of my earlier ones, my first ones. The fun part about making these little guys here is everyone turns out differently, and I don't have a preset notion of what it's going to look like when I even start on one. It just kind of evolves into becoming whatever it becomes, you know. And if you watch some of the tutorial videos that Linker has on how to do figurines like this, he makes it so simple. I mean, you can really follow along easily, and you just do those steps like he says, and boom, next thing you know, you can be making little things like this. So yeah, the noses, that's a big thing. You can make them all different shapes and sizes and things like that. Here's one of my earlier, like an Easter Island head that I did. And, you know, kind of crude. I mean, I'm not a professional. I'm no Doug, that's for sure. He's an expert. I'll put it that way. My air just kicked down. It's middle of November and it's still hot and haven't run the air. Sorry about that. Let me shut it off. Okay. Here's a morel mushroom I made. You don't have to do figurines. This is the only example I have out here right now of something other than a figure, a caricature. Yeah, the hickory chicken, molly moochers. There's all kinds of nicknames for morel mushrooms. And here's one you can carve real easy. And on this one, for the dimples, I used my Dremel, which is a round burr cutter. Yeah, I just carved it out, put the dimples in it, and then took a propane torch to give it that color. And so there's that one. Then here's a little king I made. You can play around with all kinds of different hats, hairstyles, whatever. Paint them all the different colors. And here's one I just knocked out, one of my earlier ones, and made a king with a king crown on it. And then here's one actually. This is actually a buddy of mine. He's no longer with us, but I made a little figurine that kind of looked like him. And there's that. And then moving along here, here's a woodsman. I'm going to call him a woodsman. He looks like a woodsman. You know, one of the great things about doing these carvings is the last thing you do is the eyes. And it's just amazing how once you put the eyes on them, it's like they come alive, you know. You can make them look in different directions depending, you know, where you put the pupil on there. I've done some where they're looking up, looking down, looking to the left, looking to the right. You know, stocking caps are one of my most popular type of hat that I do on them. Here's one a little bit different style. This guy here, where he's not showing his eyes because his hat's pulled down too low. And it's kind of a little bit different shaped hat, you know. And then here's one with a little bit different style hat too. And in this case, I put just a wooden bead with a nail on top for a bead on top of the hat. And, you know, little guys like that. You notice, I mean, all their noses are different. They all look like different people, you know. Did I show you that one there? Or is that the one next I was going to show you? Anyway, there's another woodsman with a red cap on. And I said, all these I made to put on top of walking sticks rather than carve into the stick itself, which generally is a hardwood, and it would be harder to carve into. I just carve them out of basswood, and then I can attach them on the top. The way I usually attach them, I'll drill a hole in the bottom, and I'll put a hardwood dowel in there, and then drill a hole in the top, and then, you know, glue it together with a hardwood dowel. That's my preferred method of attachment on a walking stick. Here's a little guy with a pair of glasses on. He's got some gold framed glasses and blonde hair, kind of a different looking style guy right there. And then my wife's a huge fan of this movie with this guy right here, and so I made this for her. And this is the little baby Groot. And I think I just took some wire and flattened it out on the ends to make those little things, and then glued them into the top and stuff. But yeah, you can just use your imagination. And like I said, it's not an expensive hobby to get into. You just use your pocket knife or whatever. I have a lot of different carving knives, carving knives that I've made. Here's some of my go-tos that I use a lot. Different shape, different length blades, and different shaped handles and things like that. Yeah, so if you think this is something you might want to try and you want to get into it, Beavercraft is one of the big names that makes tools, and they sell basswood and all that kind of stuff. You'll find them all over the place on the internet, and pretty reasonably priced. You can get any kind of carving knife, and they're V-gouges is what these little tools are called. And I make these myself. I've experimented around with a number of different ones in the last few years, and I have a couple that I use regularly. Yeah, so these are what makes the hair, the beards, all that. You can see how simple it is. You can get V-gouges that are all different depths, widths, just depending on, what you're doing with it. And so yeah, tools like this, little V-gouges, really speed up the process of carving. Instead of trying to take a knife and make every single one of those cuts, you get the general shape of what you want, and then you grab your V-gouge and you just go to town and put the hair on them, or the creases in the hats, and the beard and mustaches and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so another thing I wanted to mention too is about your carving tools. You want to keep them sharp, and I recommend, I don't strop everything, but all my carving knives, once I sharpen them, I always strop them as the last step. And here's just one strop that I have that I made years ago with a piece of leather on a piece of hardwood, and then loaded up with just a fine compound. On this particular one here, I have what's called green chrome. It's about 15 to 30,000 grit, something like that. You're not trying to remove any material per se. You're polishing and just giving that final sharp edge to your blade. So stropping, I highly recommend on if you're doing wood carving. Get her sharp and then strop her up too, and polish that edge. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video, taking a look at the wood carvings. Hopefully it's something you might enjoy getting into. I sure enjoy it, and give it a try. So that's a wrap on this video here. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these carvings and talk a little bit about wood carving. Maybe it's something you want to get into. Anyway, I appreciate it. I appreciate all my subscribers. This is Dave. See you in the next one.